Hello everyone, Elvian here, and we are back with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5 Golden Wind finale, the last omnibus, which is a bit of a shorter omnibus since I guess that half the last volume was part of Part 6. I'm not sure. Um, I think that's how it worked. But yeah, we're done with Part 5. Uh, and yeah, I feel like I feel like this part had potential, real potential at the start, but I don't know. This finale just doesn't work with me here. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's part of memory, but this, it's a really, like, I understand that JoJo's has always had involved battles, like with complex ways about how the powers interact with each other. Um, it just felt like they're just stacking so many things onto each other that's like got out of hand. But like the the biggest thing that gets me is that like um the way they defeated King Crimson is by having Giorno awaken his Golden Wind Requiem, and it turned into a power that counters the just it very much counters King Crimson, and it's justified because the arrow when you awaken the arrow, when the arrow awakens your Requiem stand and it powers up, it awakens like the desire or whatever that you felt in that moment. So obviously Giorno wished for the power to defeat um Diavolo. So that makes sense. I My main gripe then is just the concept of the arrow doing this in the first place. I know, like last video, we were introduced to the concept that the arrow could awaken stands in the first place, or not like, or we awaken stands. Power them up and get new abilities and stuff. And that's we saw that with Polnareff stand. You know, but it feels like another new plot device to allow us to defeat this very powerful ability. It's like, okay, we're not defeating him through like a cool, clever way. It's just like we just we just did the arrow thing. It's like, okay, um, but I mean, okay, I'm not even okay. So I do you do give them credit because it's not like it was easy getting the arrow to power up the stand, Golden Wind in the first place. It took a lot of effort, you know. Bakari, he had to figure out how, like, oops, sorry, how the stand worked, that that they were chasing around Silver Chariot, right? Um, and it ended up swapping the bodies back and got Giorno closer to the arrow. Um, so that was good work. Um, gotta give that. You gotta give them credit where credit's due. Um, but I mean, ultimately, it still leaves a sour taste in my mouth. And I do think the body swapping stuff also adds a bit to the complexity because you have to like keep track of who's and where and stuff. Um, but yeah, it. I don't know. This I feel like I could start to appreciate this ending fight more. But like, oh my god, it's just like it, I don't know, man. And what's more um of a problem, I think, is like, okay, if 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 Giorno himself was more connected to the arrowhead, um, if there was like more personal thematic stuff going on there, I could be more forgiving of it. I mean, I can forgive Deus Ex Machina, type shit if it can be like tied into like a character's character or themes revolving around. If they do it, if they can, you could still do interesting stuff with supposed Deus Ex Machina stuff. I mean, I defend a lot of those stuff in Bleach. Just today I reread um this Shinsui versus Wheelbarrow fight, which has potentially one of the most egregious Deus Ex Machina stuff moments in Bleach. But I do think that it's still that moment still does a lot for his character. But I'm not sure if I'm seeing that with with Giorno, like how this arrow stuff ties into it. Um, yeah, this fight wasn't actually the end of part 5. There's a flashback arc that has lots more implications for the series going forward, or there's a lot more to do. It made sense basically why this flashback arc was at the end, because this has involved a stand that has like prophecies and stuff, and it feels like it's adding an element of fate as like a theme to the whole series, which is like a kind of a sudden turn, but I can see it. I can see like fate working as a theme if you can tie it, if you tied it into like King Crimson, he's like Diablo's erasing time and stuff. Maybe you can tie that with the fate, but like I don't know. It feels like there's elements of like themes that can work as like a lens to view this part, but I don't know. I'm not seeing it. If you have any recommendation, if there's like JoJo analysis, like thematic analysis, character analysis, I'd like to see that. Um, and yeah, maybe some of these guys appeared later parts that the characters continue. I mean that has happened before. Characters sticking around longer than the part they debut in. Interesting enough, though, we don't really see much of that this part. Like like from part who was that guy in part 4, the who had the he was like the main he was like he's like friends with the main character. Oh my god, I like that character. Why did I forget his name? Koichi. Koichi. We saw him at the beginning of part 5. He just dipped, I guess. Kind of forget where he thought that he went. And I believe there was another character or so there with him. But yeah, there's not much crossover in parts. Ghost K is not here. So I wonder how if we'll see any more of that to going forward. I do know that next part we get our first female Joestar, which is cool, or first female JoJo protagonist. There's been female Joestars, of course. But yeah, that'd be cool. I know what I know about Part 6 is that I know it starts in a prison, and apparently the finale is like really crazy. Um, that's basically what I know. Luckily, I didn't get much. I don't have much spoilers because like Netflix fumbled the anime release, so there wasn't as much buzz about the anime when it released in batches. Like there was no weekly hype to it. Um, Unfortunate for JoJo as like a series could have gotten a lot more momentum. I not that it necessarily like is starving for popularity. It has a good fan base, but still that sucks. But it does mean I don't have as many spoilers. Um, yeah. I also know that apparently in my part starting part 7, they it's like a different alternate timeline. Like the timeline starts splitting. I don't know if that's due to, I don't know if that's due to a stand or what, but that would be interesting, I guess. And I probably will have a bit of a break before I start part 6, but because I mean Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War, Core 4 is starting soon, so I don't know. I don't know how long it'll be. I hope it's not going to be as long as the break between this part and part 4 was. So yeah, I will read part 6. Okay, I already have whoop, all of part 6, and actually I got half of part 7. The next I have like 6 volumes. 7th is in the mail. It'll come in tomorrow, so that's cool. But yeah, not my favorite JoJo. My favorite JoJo part is still part 4, and I think this part as a whole is around is about the same as the other parts, basically. Um, yeah, I think the series isn't I don't know, not a very healthcore series, but I don't know. I'm interested enough to continue reading. I feel like the parts have there's it's not like a a very long continuous series where you know if you don't like it, it's just going to be offering the same stuff. I feel like the parts individually, you know, if I don't like this part or this part, there's always the next part. Maybe it might be different enough. I hear that part 7 is great, so I at least want to read that. But yeah, I'm rambling too much, so I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.